Okay. Buckle up, kids. This is the second episode of the newly christened Coffee with Hawk. And every time, every time I hear Coffee with Hawk, I'm like, I think this was spurred by the fact that I was outside earlier today for quite a bit, and it's cold. It's just cold. It's mid-January, and then I was cold, and then that thing popped into my head where it's like, it's sweater weather. It's sweater weather. I mean, it's sweater weather. Yeah. And, which morphed into it's time for Coffee with Hawk. And I don't know where the Long Island thing is coming from, but my friend Shahana is from Long Island. She's from Massapequa. She's from Long Island. And so, yeah, I'm sleep deprived, and that's just kind of what my brain is doing today. So that having been said, it's time for I believe, the second episode of the newly renamed Coffee with Hawk, where I cover some news items of the day. Today is Friday, January 12th. So given that it's Friday, of course, I've got my Full Potato Friday mug. I was told to do that away from the microphone. All right, what do we got in the news today? We have all kinds of stuff in the news today. I should also mention that this is, because I got back from court a little while ago. Today was the first day of a trial that's going to last probably 3 to 4 weeks, give or take. And so I thought I would just record this episode while I still had my suit and tie on, so that everybody can, I don't know, see me in a suit and tie. All right. First headline, wait until Fox News finds out about George Soros's move to turn Texas blue. Oh, I can hear the pearl clutchers now. So what this is about is a new group run by people who were involved in Beto O'Rourke's 2022 campaign, and funded by Democratic megadonor George Soros. I hear he's a globalist. And what's that code for? Yeah, that's right. You guys know. Has emerged this election cycle to take on the age-old challenge of turning Texas blue. Texas Majority PAC has kept a relatively low profile since forming over a year ago, but they've raised well over $1 million. They're raising millions more. Working with George Soros, he's made very, very large donations to 3 separate county parties. And, that's great, but I think there are 288 counties in Texas. You're not going to turn Texas blue by donating money to 3 of them, but that's neither here nor there. It's George Soros. George Soros always gets... people on the right lose their mud entirely when they hear the name George Soros. And they think that he is the most evil person on the planet because he donates his money to causes that he believes in. And it's like these people have never heard of the Koch brothers, who've spent the last 50 years donating hundreds of millions of dollars to political causes they believe in on the right, or at least on a more libertarian kind of slant. I'll put it that way. And it's like, I don't get it, man. I don't get it. I mean, you say George Soros, to your favorite drunk uncle at any holiday, and just watch what happens, man. He'll seize up right on the spot. All right, next headline. A hot mess, quote unquote. Steve Bannon has had it with loser Mike Johnson, Speaker of the House. Louisiana Representative Mike Johnson's speakership is already in peril. Uh-oh. That ain't no good. I can't take it anymore, Bannon said on his podcast recently. I can't take it anymore. So Johnson's now committed to 5 or 6 different alternatives, right? Every time he gets in a room, he commits to something. He's talking about funding deals, and he's negotiating with Democrats to keep the government funded. There are deadlines that expire in like a week from today. Today's January 12th. Then there's another deadline that expires in mid-February, and unless the Speaker and House Republicans and Democrats reach a deal, then the government's going to be shut down. The Freedom Caucus and many of the House Republicans, they're getting the hardest 3-inch erections thinking about shutting down the government that you can possibly imagine. They say the American people are demanding that we shut down the government. Nobody's demanding that you shut down the government. It's like half the people in this country benefit in some way from the United States government being open and functioning and operating properly. But Jim Jordan and Marjorie Taylor Greene know better. Yeah. Bannon thinks Johnson lacks courage. Courage. And courage means in the defining moment, you have to step into conflict. Dude, you are just a wimp. It's not hacking it. The country is in crisis. You got all the leverage in the world if you have the titanium stones to say, hey, guess what, Biden? If you're going to have an invasion on the border, if you're going to spend money like crazy, if you're going to do this, hey, your illegitimate regime is going to get shut down. Yeah. Steve Bannon he's Eric Cartman. If Eric Cartman was a real person and became a grown-up, which is also Jason Miller from Trump's campaign. Google Jason Miller Trump campaign. Right, yeah. So we're doing a couple of Mike Johnson stories. Confusion reigns in the Mike Johnson era. Speaker Mike Johnson, 79 days into his tenure atop the House, is taking this to a new extreme. He doesn't tell anybody anything. Top House Republicans have no clue what the Speaker plans to do next, aides and lawmakers alike. GOP members are walking away from conversations with Johnson having absolutely no idea where he stands or what he just said. Well, they just need to go look it up in the Bible because he's a Bible worldview kind of guy. So if you want to know at any given moment what Mike Johnson is thinking, just look it up in the Bible. Senators don't know what to make of the leadership neophyte and are often confused by his behavior. Well, when you talk about being confused by Mike Johnson's behavior, people might be referring to the app that he had on his phone. I think it was called Covenant Eyes, which he also uploaded onto his adopted son's cell phone. And it helped both of them watch less pornography. They were each other's accountability buddy, Mike Johnson and his teenage son, keeping each other accountable in the wild and crazy world of pornography. That's right. Okay, what do we got next? Johnson says he will stand by a deal to avert the shutdown. Okay, so this gets at what House Republicans are just totally losing their mud over. Over the holiday recess, Mike Johnson kept working, and he kept negotiating with Democrats in the House and Senate Democrats, and we're negotiating with McConnell and Senate Republicans, and they're all kind of negotiating together, like the leadership components of all four of those groups. And so by the time the House returned from the holidays, Mike Johnson had already agreed to a funding structure with House Democrats, Senate Republicans, and Senate Democrats. And the Freedom Caucus is like, well, he already surrendered while we were out of town. He surrendered and gave up the fight while we was out of town for Christmas and New Year's, and we're super upset about that. It's just like, guys, you elected him speaker unanimously, knowing that he was incompetent, over his head, and doesn't have the slightest idea what the hell he's doing. And when he tries to kind of be like, okay, well, now I have this new job, maybe I should try to actually do it. Yeah, so they're gonna throw him out. They're gonna throw him out. Marjorie Taylor Greene's talking about it. Chip Roy is talking about it. They're like, we're gonna throw him out. Okay, well, all right. And speaking of Republican turmoil and dysfunction and general dumb fuckery, Swing state Republican parties are engulfed in turmoil. So we're going to talk about Michigan, Nevada, and Florida. I mean, my God, Florida, where the chairman of the House GOP and his wife, who was a founder of Moms for Liberty, were engaged in an ongoing throuple with another woman where they were getting together and having threesomes voluntarily until one time when it wasn't for that woman. And now I don't even remember what his name is. The GOP chairman was ousted a couple days ago because he's now facing rape accusations from that woman. And his wife, a co-founder of Moms for Liberty, which absolutely hates the LGBTQ community, even though she's been with another woman in her husband's presence, they booted her. And the school board that she's on, they're trying to get rid of her. So that's going on in Florida. Let's talk about Nevada. Two of the top state party officials for the Republican Party have been indicted for their alleged role as fake electors for former President Donald Trump after he lost the 2020 election. So two of the senior party leaders are now indicted for being fake electors in Nevada. Then we get Michigan. Michigan, after the 2020 election, the Michigan Republican Party elected as the statewide chair of the Michigan Republican Party, a woman who is like full on QAnon, batshit crazy, lunatic, election denier. The 2020 election was stolen. Trump is my orange god king type of person to lead their party. And then their party wound up with like $52 in the bank. And there was massive mismanagement and general craziness. So they ousted her. They got rid of her. So that's what's going on in the state Republican parties. And two of those are swing states. All right, Trump legal drama. Trump ordered to pay legal fees for frivolous lawsuit. When's he ever filed one of those? I mean, he and Alina Habba were sanctioned $1 million for attorney's fees for some bullshit lawsuit that they filed against Hillary Clinton. I don't even remember what it was about. It had something to do with the 2016 election and, her defaming Trump or something, and Russia. I don't even remember. But they were ordered to pay $1 million in sanctions and legal fees in that case. And in this case, Donald Trump sued the New York Times and a bunch of their reporters for, reporting on him and reporting on the things that, he does and says. And he didn't like that. That was not good. That was unfair. I'm being treated so unfairly. I'm being treated so unfairly by the media. It's unfair. Everything's unfair. Everything's unfair. I'm being treated unfair by the media. And so he filed a lawsuit, and today he was ordered to pay $400,000 in legal fees to the New York Times and those reporters. Ah, God, my favorite one of the day. Most Americans are willing to see Trump disqualified from the 2024 ballot. This one just made my heart warm. A new ABC Ipsos poll finds that by a narrow 49 to 46 margin, Americans say they support the Colorado and Maine decisions to boot Donald Trump out of the race under the 14th Amendment's insurrection clause. Overall, here's the money number. 56% of people polled say they are willing to see Donald Trump disqualified from the 2024 ballot. Lordy, lordy, there are tapes. Roger Stone denied reports that he tried to order a hit on two sitting Democratic members of Congress, Eric Swalwell and Jerry Nadler of New York. Well, the website Mediaite, I don't know how to pronounce that. It's the word media with ITE on the end, mediaite.com, today released a recording of Roger Stone saying exactly that. It's time to Eric Swalwell and or Jerry Nadler and see, yeah, because after we take them out, the rest of the Democrats are going to fall in line. Roger Stone is like a Bond villain. If you designed a Bond villain that was worth like $12,000, a Bond villain that had like $12,000 to his name, that's Roger Stone. That's Roger Stone in 2024. It's just pathetic and sad, man. Okay, so today's Friday. It's January 12th. In 3 days on Monday, the 15th, Monday the 15th. Sorry, I had to carry the one. I'm bad at math. Monday the 15th is the Iowa caucuses. The state of Iowa is having their caucuses, the first votes that are going to be cast in the 2024 presidential election cycle. Donald Trump's his expectations are super high. They're super high. He's got to win by 50, 60 points. Otherwise, the story is going to be, he didn't win by 50 or 60 points. Why didn't he win by 50 or 60 points? Nikki Haley has passed Ron DeSantis. She's going to come in second. It's just a question of, is she going to lose by 40 points or 30 points? And there is a massive, massive blizzard, a polar vortex that's going to hit Iowa, because the Iowa caucuses take place in person. People get together and they caucus. They caucus in gymnasiums, and they caucus in libraries, and they caucus in meeting places. Are you caucusing? I'm caucusing. You want to caucus? Let's caucus. I think we should caucus. Let's get together and do some caucusing. Hey, do you want to caucus? I don't know, man. I'm over here caucusing with these other people who are caucusing during our caucus. Who wants to caucus? So that's what the Iowa caucuses are. Yeah. And it just sounds bizarre to me. But, people are wondering like, is the weather going to keep people from showing up at the caucuses to caucus at the caucus with the other people that they're going to caucus with while they're all caucusing? And so we'll wait and see what happens on that. And we'll wait to see if little Donnie Two Scoops, Fat Nixon, reaches expectations, or if he falls short and then gets ridiculed. Stefanik's hostages barb points to GOP mayhem ahead. Okay. Elise Stefanik, a Republican representative, I believe from upstate New York, something like that. I don't know. She used to be a completely normal, reasonable, not batshit crazy Republican member of the House. And then Donald Trump got elected, and she was like, maybe we should do something different. And now she's full MAGA all the time. In a recent interview, she referred to the January 6th rioters who have been convicted or pled guilty and have been imprisoned, or who are being held in the D.C. Jail until their trials. She has referred to those people as January 6th hostages, which, boy howdy, let me tell you, has really gone over really well with her Jewish constituents in New York, given what's going on with Hamas in Israel right now. January 6th hostages. But more importantly, she has just completely screwed moderate Republicans in the House. There are 18 Republicans currently serving in the House of Representatives who won their elections in their districts in 2022 in districts that Joe Biden won in 2020. Those districts are swing districts. They're purple. They're moderate. They're not extreme one way or the other. And I think like 14 of those districts are in the same state as Elise Stefanik in New York. And now she just totally screwed these people, because now every time they've got a microphone in front of their face, do you agree with Elise Stefanik's characterization of the January 6th defendants as hostages? And that shit's not playing well at home, because they're swing districts. They're purple. They're moderates. And now it's like, now the people that they elected in 2022 are being forced to either defend or reject this language from Elise Stefanik, who is a member of leadership in the House of Representatives. She is a member of leadership. because she went full potato, and they were like, oh, let's put her in leadership. And that's what they did. So anyway, I hope everybody has had an amazing Friday. I hope everybody has a fun and safe weekend. Don't get arrested. I want to thank my brother for all of his help with these podcasts and helping get them up on the interwebs so that you can see them. And I want to throw out a special thank you to our buddy Wiseacre, who did all the graphics for these podcasts. I think he did all the graphics for everything that's on everything in our merch store as well. And that dude has been hitting it out of the park lately. And my brother and I appreciate him so much. And so have a great weekend, everybody. And we will see you next week on Coffee with Hawk. All right, have a great weekend.